This rapid process improvement workshop was focused around preparing the EDAN on the day of discharge. Using our standard work description tools, we observed that the burden of work often fell with the junior doctors and everything was delayed until the day of discharge. The purpose of this rapid process improvement workshop, or RPIW, was to bring a multidisciplinary team together to work on these issues.
So we were particularly looking at getting a patient home 2 hours after the point that they were told that they can go home on the day of their discharge. We often receive feedback saying patients had great care while they stayed with us. The only part that let this down was the discharge process.
So the challenge we had for the RPIW week was to try and improve the EDAN process for the patients that were going home on the urology ward.
It was the FY1s that were expected to do the lion's share of the work. And when we looked into things, there is an MDT approach to the EDAN, and the workload could be shifted to other members of staff and the workload could be done in process. The fact that there was members of staff from pharmacy, doctors, nursing staff, everyone that has an input into the EDAN process.
But in reality we could make small steps and improve it anyhow. So that was a huge challenge where we wanted to go for some really big, we had some really aspirational ideas, but in reality we needed to make small changes.
The RPIW was that a group of colleagues who never really get to talk to one another much got together and viewed a problem from several different angles. We all see the problem differently, and we managed to get together, and by pooling the ideas that we had, we came up with, I thought, very reasonable solutions. The best thing about this approach was getting to speak to people that I don't normally get to speak to, and having the time to get to know other people's views about things. I learned things that I never knew before.
What was really fabulous about this was that there were doctors, pharmacists, pharmacy technicians and nurses all around the table together having conversations around how we interact with each other and how we affect patient care.
You give the instructions that a patient can be discharged, and all the machinery that comes into play after that was something I never really engaged with. And this was a way of learning all of that, really. There's potential there now. I think that we can talk all week and we can come up with ideas.
So one of the significant things that I think we learned was when doing quality improvement work that we need to be thinking about what we can actually do differently very quickly with the systems that we've already got, rather than thinking really aspirationally and that being something that we potentially wouldn't be able to implement quickly.
Most medications left until the discharge is actually written before we decide to dispense it and get it on the ward. But we can actually do it in flow and have everything on the ward at the point of the discharge being authorised.
What we have to do now is put all this into action. That's going to be much harder, and I think that maintaining the momentum, particularly with colleagues that haven't been involved in the process, is going to be the really difficult thing.
The information that we need for a patient's discharge is often already in existence, so whether that's the operation note from the surgeon or something that a pharmacist or a pharmacy technician has found out about a patient's medicines, we already have that information in different systems within our organisation. So the key part of the work that we need to do ongoingly is to look at how we make sure that that information gets into the EDAN in a timely way to make sure that the patient can go home quickly.
This will be a great improvement for J43 because our patients currently wait about 5 to 6 hours each day for an EDAN, and this process will hopefully have the EDAN ready very early in the morning so they can be discharged home, hopefully before lunch.
The junior doctors are the people who have been most heavily involved in the EDAN discharge process, and so their views on this were crucial. If they didn't think something would work, it's not going to work.